So I'm trying herbs that started really early, like mint, peppermint, sage, and parsley. And once they dry, I'm going to just put them in little jars and use them for nice savory dishes that I make. And those can be, hung upside down or put in a dehydrator once you take the leaves off. And there's my little fig tree that's 3 years old. And there you go, drying a little bundle of herbs. And I don't know if they call this a kitchen garden or a cottage garden or what, but I got a lot in it. There's some red grapes. I actually use the grape leaves for grape leaves, Arabic dish. Um, there's peas, snap peas, snow peas, Alaskan peas, who knows. Kohlrabi or kale, edible. It's all edible. Tomatoes. Um, just like some kind of shitty little daisy that grows, but it's a bee attractor and it grows in water real easy. That's chicory, which is actually edible and turns into a beautiful periwinkle flower later. This is bok choy, supposedly, down here, but it looks more like Chinese mustard to me. It gets red. That's the only inedible thing in here, and I can't remember the name of it, but it's a little purple flower. That's a weed. This is kohlrabi. That one I do remember. This is broccoli rabe that I didn't really eat on time, so you would just clip those off and eat it when it still looks a little bit like broccoli, like that. And then that's just a pollinator, like a weed, And that's a cucumber, I think. And there's tomato. There's probably 25 tomatoes around here. That didn't take. It's just got like stuff in it. That's a broad bean, but for some reason it's not turning into beans, but that's okay. It was just an experiment. This is all snow peas in these bricks. Snap peas, maybe, And then here's peas that are just like mixed. It grew into like a nice kind of bush right there. You see how pretty? And these are just in boxes. And then in there, when these come down, there might be some leeks in there, as in like the onions. That's forget-me-nots, lemon balm, big tomato. That's the only thing I bought, was that one tomato plant. And this is sage. It already flowered. There's all kinds of little things in here, like spices and stuff that I can't remember. As they come up, I'll find them. That's beans. This is that chicory that's I planted. That reason why I got it was for just a wildflower that I liked. It has a periwinkle flower on it, and I got it because I just planted it from a wildflower. And I just think the flower is so pretty. Then later I found out all those leaves are edible, and it's got a root that's used for coffee, like taste. And then of course the flowers are just really pretty. And there's more peas. This is stuff I planted in like March, that's coming up. There's beans, morning glories. So the idea is that all this is going to climb up this trellis, including that cucumber, which I think that's a cucumber. Cucumber's coming up. I think that might be corn, so that's in a stupid place. And then all of these are tomatoes. So I'll move them around as they get bigger. And I take the peas out. I'll probably put some of these back in there. And then this is Brussels sprouts and kohlrabi that need a little bit of attention. And I put those under that thing because the dogs keep stepping on it. That's parsley I took down. That's red grapes. But, like I said, I'm using it for the grape leaves. And then John built this first contraption that has wires to hold everything up. And I built this comical arbor, which is coming together. So the idea was the red grapes, the cucumbers, and the peas, and the beans would all grow up that trellis that he built. Stay. That's the dog, the little dog. That's the big dog. Comically, sunflower, which become huge here for some reason. One time we had one 23 feet tall. That's corn, I think. That's something called velvet leaf. It's just a strange wildflower that wants to be here, so I let it be here. It gets bigger every year, and it makes a black flower, which is strange. These are onions, that I replanted from like that way people say just cut them and stick them in the ground, and they came back in like a minute. This is more red grapes for me, again, for the grape leaves mostly, but if it gets grapes, that's good too. And there's another sunflower. Here's those onions standing up. Took a little less pressure. There's morning glories in here. There's another tomato. Tomato, grapes, beans. I just put beans in these bricks yesterday. Tomato. That's a little Swiss chard. I wanted to see if it would take there. Oh, firefly. That's a lightning bug right on me, which reminds me of Ma and the last firefly. Cucumber. That's an apple tree that I grew from seed and then tried to transplant, and it went a little bit dead on me, so I don't know if it's gonna make it, but I hope so. And I think I might give that to John's friend Milton if it works. He's retiring right now, and he's into trees and stuff. He has a huge yard. Those are blueberries, I think. I started from seeds. A bunch of more small tomatoes in here. And here I'm starting to make my rows. Tomato, 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 tomato. I didn't see it, honey. Oh, yeah. Yeah. There's peppers in there. I'll show those later. That's just the common primrose. It'll get a tall yellow flower on it. Some people think it's a weed. I think it's pretty. Those were poppies. Back there in that far corner with the heads cut off, they were beautiful. There's actually an artichoke plant over there, which is kind of comical because it's not the right climate for it, but I don't care. All my daisies grew in that big container, and bachelor buttons, those are those little blue ones in the back, the purple. That's hibiscus, that one standing alone right there. Those are everywhere, like I put them up to make a natural barrier. That's a climbing rose that bloomed already, beautiful, and already had its day, but it looks like that. I'm trying to get to climb up the house. Blackberries, going down to the house now. So little mulberry trees I'm trying to keep as little short as I can. I'm going to cut all that off today, top, but just keep them like little round things. And then down there, that might be cherry, some kind of fruit tree. And the blackberries go down there. There's raspberries in that corner, and there's hibiscus there. Hibiscus all along the wall, so those are like flowering. And you can use the insides as tea, if you like tea. That's a watermelon starting, which is kind of funny. But if I get one little watermelon, I'll be happy. It got too wet because of that rain spout over there. There's some squash or melons or something. I put some zucchini in that little fence line. And then those are beans I planted there next to that. That's, again, cucumber squash, one of those kinds of things. There's like little hibiscus I'm putting here. They're everywhere. And this is lots and lots of morning glory. It gets real colorful. I don't know what that is, but it's always there, so I just leave it there. And then I did put some okra, but I can't find it. There's some carrots that kind of dudded out. And then I still have like all that I can plant, because I'm going to take everything except for the perennial flowers. That's daisies, poppies. They call it pot marigold. That's that little, the artichokes over there. Artichoke plant. There's more chicory. But a lot of this stuff is just, more grapes. A lot of this stuff is just like, I guess technically weeds. There's onions or chives or something mixed in. So it's like that. That's like where I am. And then if you want to see it from like the whole view, there it is. There it is. That's a lot of stuff in a little garden. That's what I think. I think that's a lot of stuff in a little garden. And, the end.